Good morning, church. Thank you for being here. Well, we're excited that you've chosen to join us this morning for worship. Welcome to all those watching online. We're thankful that you're here as well. Why don't we stand up together as we're going to sing about Christ coming. I love the Advent time. I love being able to reflect back on the beginning of the story, on Christ's birth. So let's sing together.
Gloria. Matthew 18:10 through 14 says, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven. What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that wandered off? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he is happier about that one sheep than about the 99 that did not wander off. In the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should perish." Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me.
Proclaim that today.
There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, there's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. Oh, no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, there's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me.
was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep, and on a cold winter's night that was so deep, Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. Oh,
Then let us song with one accord, sing praises to our heavenly Lord,
that hath made heaven and earth of naught, and with his blood mankind has bought. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. He is born, the Son of God has come to dwell, the King of kings and Lord of lords, Emmanuel. He is born, hope for all. Now go and tell, he has come to save the world. We sing Noel, 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 King of kings and Lord of lords, he has come to save the world. We sing Noel, we sing Noel. He is born, hope for all. Now go and tell, he has come to save the world. We sing Noel. You are hope of the world. Always have been, always will be. And God, I pray that we would take that message of hope with us, to utilize it to share the gospel message with a hurting world that needs to hear it. Because we have been changed by that hope. We have been greatly impacted by your birth, your life, your death, your resurrection. It's the hope of the world, so we should go and tell about it. Father, I'm thankful for this church. I'm also thankful that we are only a small part of the Big C Church, not only around the globe, but God, right here in our city. I pray for the greater city of Columbus, God, that you would light a fire in those who serve you, who call you Christ, who have been changed, that have been written in the Lamb's Book of Life, God, that we would, in this season, that we would go and tell people about the great name of Jesus and how you changed our lives. Thank you for these moments of worship and prayer. We thank you for Landon, for his love for you, his love for your word. And we pray, as we often do, that we would be changed in your presence, that we would be changed by your word today. We love you, and it's in your name we pray. Everybody said amen. Amen. You may have a seat.
Thank you, worship team. Hey, good morning. My name is Jay. I get to serve as the connections pastor here at the Refinery. At the Refinery, we have 5 commitments that we invite people to consider. We call them commitments because really they're values, but we don't want them to just be ideas. We want them to be pursued, lived out, and we believe that you should commit to what you value. Our third commitment is live in community, and I kind of want to share a few different things that all hopefully kind of point to that being important to us and what I hope would be important to you. First, if you're new, if we've not had the chance to connect, and it is so powerful, being known, the ability to know others is so important to how God created us. If we've not had the privilege of getting to know you yet or your story, I'd encourage you to fill out a Connect card. You can take it out to the Connection Hub after service today. Stacy's going to be back there. And when you turn this in, we have a gift for you. It's our excuse to get to know you a little bit, but also a gift just as our way of saying, hey, thank you so much for taking that first step. As you walked in today, hopefully you snagged. If you didn't, you can grab one on the way out, a Christmas Eve invite card. So what I want to do first, Christmas Eve, it's coming up. It's on Christmas Eve this year. On December 24th, we have a 4 o'clock service, a 5:30 p.m. service, and I want you all to know you're invited to Christmas Eve. I know you didn't know that, but you are. But here's what that means. That invite card isn't for you anymore, okay? That invite card is for somebody else. Somebody on your mind, somebody at work, somebody in your family, somebody in your cul-de-sac or neighborhood, or it's for somebody else. And as I was praying this morning, I had this big, crazy, God-sized, audacious goal in my mind. What if every one of those was actually handed out? I'm nervous for what the repercussions of that would be, because it would mean nobody's finding a seat in here for Christmas Eve. I'd love for that to be the case. I'd love for that to be the case. So if you would, pray with me, think about it. I don't want to just boldly dream. I want to boldly go. So whoever that is on your mind, I encourage you to make a Christmas Eve invite this year. Make a Christmas Eve invite. I already kind of know who God is stirring in my heart, and I'm going to do the same with you all. I'm excited to see what God does with that, though. So those are for somebody else. The third community component is I'll have you go ahead and pull up the Lead a Life Group slide. We're going to be launching a new series of life groups come March 1. Some other life groups that are already going and existing, they're going to be opening their arms a little bit wider, and new people are going to join some existing groups as well. But because I believe about what God wants to go and new people coming to the Refinery, we need a community for them to find. And so we're preparing in advance for what we believe God is going to do, and we need some more life group leaders. If you scan that QR code, so you can't find this online yet, but if you scan that, then it will take you to it's called an application. That sounds really formal, but really it sets up an opportunity for us to have a conversation to see if you would lead a life group. There's going to be an 8-week session beginning in March, so you're not committing for the rest of your life to lead a life group. But maybe God's stirring that in your heart. I would love to have a conversation with you if you feel that that's the case. Because guess what? We need community for new people to come, because the number one reason somebody doesn't continue to come back is they failed to connect. And so I encourage you, if God's compelling you to take that step, to do that. Submitting prayer requests, tithes and offerings. We love the opportunity to pray for those requests that you submit. Our staff prays for them every Monday morning. Please submit those. We'd be honored to kind of walk with you in that way. And then you can submit tithes and offerings online. You see the QR code. This also takes you to all of those spaces as well. Thank you so much for being here today. We're going to jump into week 2 of our Like a Child series, so you can go ahead and turn your attention to the screens.
Good morning, y'all. So I want to start this way. I've got a little bit of a deeper voice, you've noticed perhaps, and a few people are like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? I am. It's the season. 'Tis the season. It's also possible. We had 5 basketball games this past week for 2 of my sons who are playing basketball, and at times, while I've committed myself this year to being much better as a fan, at times my exuberant expressions of celebration for my children and for their peers comes out. And maybe, not often, if it happens, I might help where the referees maybe don't see something. And so I tend to be louder about that just because I want them to know, because I would want to know if I was in their shoes. And so that may have had some kind of impact as well. I don't think so. I think it's mainly the season because I really have. I've been so good this year. I mean, you'd be so proud of me. Like you would want to sit by me and be like, wow, this is a great fan. What a job. You know, and just every now and again, like, hey, you're okay. But no, it is a joy. Hey, I'm curious. Are you a good gift giver? Like, just think about that for just a second. Are you a good gift giver? Like some of you, like you're probably not going to raise your hand like, yeah, pretty impressive. But like some of you, like you are, you're like, yeah, I'm pretty good at it. On the other end of the spectrum, some of you not so good at gift giving, you know, where you're like, we're just going to gift card it this year because I know whatever I get you, you're going to take back. That's okay. I was telling you last week a little bit about how in my home growing up, us kids were always super pumped for Christmas morning. I don't think that's abnormal or anything unique about us. And today, like, the roles have just flipped. I want to sleep in, and I'm not getting up until at least 8, and I would really like coffee. But my kids and my wife, you know, like, they're kind of more motivated that way. But I was thinking about a little bit when I grew up. I wasn't so focused on giving gifts. Anybody else relate? When you were a child, like, were you just super eager to always shop for presents as a kid, right? So, I think there's maybe some kids that do that. My boys have done that with me before. Like, hey, we got to get mom a gift. And I'm like, when you say we've got to get mom a gift, what do you mean? Oh, you drive us to the store and you pay for something that we say we gave her. Oh, that's okay. But like I never budgeted as a kid. Did anybody actually budget? Like you were an 8-year-old and you were setting aside quarters, or 12, or you're 15, 16, you got your first job and you're setting aside money because like, I want to get this for mom, for dad, for Grandma Susie, for Aunt Joni. Again, I don't think that's the norm. Like parents, that's kind of what you do. Aunts and uncles, grandmas, grandpas. But as a child, I was far more focused on getting gifts than giving gifts. Could you imagine how it would go if parents kind of approached it the same way? Like, just consider one year, like it's Christmas Eve, and you've maybe gone home after service, and you pick up dinner or whatever you do, or you've got chili at home, or I don't know what your traditions are, and you're talking about, Christmas morning, like, oh yeah, man, tomorrow, like, what time are we thinking we're due presents? Like, not before 8, not before 9. Oh, come on, 5 a.m. No, like, we can't get you good to go to school, but yeah, we're not doing this. It's like, all right, and mom and dad are excited, and the kids are excited, and everybody goes to bed. And then imagine what it'd be like if they woke up on Christmas morning and they go in by the tree and there's nothing. And like mom and dad come in the room like, where are the presents? And the kids are like, I don't know, like, did you hide them? Like, no, didn't you get them this year? And the kids are like, stop it. Like, that's not funny. Just imagine what that would look like. Have you ever had that dream as a parent where it's just one of those things like, wait, did you do the shopping this year? Like, there would just kind of be this sense of, don't get me wrong, in my house, if that happened, we would just all look at each other and say, well, we're the greatest gift to one another. 100% how it would happen. But I'm not sure how you did Christmas as a child, but did you ever notice this? So growing up in my house, my mom, my stepdad, Ron, like, they would do all the presents, and they would kind of tell us if we're going one at a time. My mom, she'll watch later, she would unwrap meticulously so we could reuse the wrapping paper. We never reused the wrapping paper, right? Not once in my 40-plus years of life have we done that, but she still, to this day, seeks to conserve it. But they didn't seem to care about what they got. Did you ever notice this? Like, as kids, I'm like, hey, when's the next present? When's the next present? And they're like, hey, there's one more for you, and I'm so excited. And my mom would be excited for what Ron would get her, vice versa, to a degree. But, like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Or I think about, like, when I would go, like, with our cousins, like the extended family, and grandma or grandpa would be in the corner, and, like, they'd have their presents, but they would kind of just be like, they almost didn't care about them. Like, the kids are, like, tearing through, like, we're, like, being held back like a pack of rabid dogs before meat. And meanwhile, like, they've got the same kind of packages wrapped with care, and they just don't seem to be all that interested. And when you were younger, maybe your parents said something like this to you, like they said to me. They're like, we just care about watching you. Like, we've got everything we need. We think it's awesome, And I just remember thinking that doesn't make any sense. But you're old, and so maybe you're senile. Now, both Lene and I have kids, and it's different. And now I'm old and senile because I genuinely don't care if I get presents. Like, we love to give our boys gifts, and like we were conspiring this past week about what to get and how to figure this out, and like, what do we want to get them, and what'll really send a message this year, like how much coal like do we give each of them. But no, we love it. And then we love on the morning of, like, when a gift hits. Like, what I'm talking about, when you're hoping it hits, and you're like, yes. And then you also know when, like, you're hoping it hits and it misses. Oh, man, there was one year my parents asked for stuff for what my kids would like, and there was this book, a series that my one son was reading at the time. It's like, oh, maybe one of those books or something like that. And I bought him a whole series, and he opened them up, and he's like, oh, thanks. And my parents, you could just see, like, oh, missed. But there's something about that. But now we're that age, and we just kind of enjoy that. But that's how it should be. Like, if I told you I don't care what my kids get, I just want my presents, like, you'd be like, I hope you're joking. That's how it should be. We should care far more about what we give to others than what we get. But that shouldn't be unique to Christmas gifts. Like, the pattern you and I have been made up in life is to give rather than to get. It's how we're created. It's how we're crafted. We're created to be givers rather than people seeking always to get. But let me say this. While we know this, sometimes that can be hard to do. For instance, have you ever been far more interested in getting your opinion shared than giving space for somebody else to kind of share where they're at? You ever been there? Anybody? Anybody not been there? Just raise your hand. Just actually stand up in the room if you've never done that, so we can all tell you to leave. Has anybody ever been more eager to get your way than to give somebody else what they want? Anybody? Maybe this past week at work? Maybe in your home? Or what about, have you ever found yourself seeking to get the position or to get the best seat, to get the advantage, to get the opportunity, rather than leveraging whatever it is you have to give to someone else? We've all been there. And yet we know, and we're reminded this season, maybe more than any other time of the year, that it's far better to give than it is to get. You see, we serve a God focused on giving us life and love and grace and joy and peace. He doesn't focus on what he gets from us, but the nature of a healthy relationship should be the same. It's about being rooted and anchored in humility. Whether it's a healthy marriage, a healthy friendship, a healthy work relationship, these all work best when we're seeking to give rather than to get. When a husband, marriage is a great image, but when a husband seeks to just serve and love and care for his wife, to give, well then there's no need for her to seek and chase after whatever she needs herself because it's been met and provided for. The same thing when a wife just seeks to love and to serve and to care for, to give to her husband, then the husband doesn't seek. That's the way marriage is designed by God. But it's also true in work. It's true in friendships. It's true in any healthy relationship. There's a phrase that I've heard years ago and I've shared before, but it's mutual voluntary submission. When we enter into relationship with one another, we mutually voluntarily submit for the good of the other. Like that's how it's meant to be. That's what we're trying to do. It's a little bit like a gift exchange, right? When you show up for a gift exchange, you're like, hey, you buy you a gift and I'll buy me a gift, and we'll show up together and we'll just say it's from each other. No, right? I mean, you're like, hey, you get me something, I'll get you something. It'll be awesome. And then you're trying to outdo the other. You're not like, man, I hope they really get me. It's that way in life. When we seek to look out for number one, things get complicated. Here's what I want to invite you to do. Look with me to the book of Matthew, chapter 18. We're going to be in Matthew 18 and Matthew 2 this morning. It's kind of the case throughout this whole series. We're going to pick up where we left off a little bit last week with the reading. Or as a reminder, in this season, the invitation in this series is to kind of take on the posture of a child, to be a little more like a child when it comes to the magic and the whimsicalness of the season. But then also, as we think about it, Christ came like a child to model for us to what it means to be fully human, to be fully alive. This is what it says in Matthew chapter 18, verses 10 through 14. It reads, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones." This is what Kristen read earlier, and I want to echo it again. "For I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven," this is where sometimes people get the idea of a guardian angel, and that's really not necessarily what the text is communicating, but that we do understand there's angelic beings. There's more than meets the eye going on in this world. "What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that has wandered off? And if he finds it, truly I tell you, he is happier about that one sheep than about the 99 that did not wander off. And in the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should perish." The teaching here by Jesus refers to the love of God. Love goes to great lengths. Love is a costly thing. Anytime like I officiate a wedding or been to a wedding, we say something to the effect of, they've decided to exchange rings or matching sweaters or something like that today. And typically, right, they're trying to show that there's this precious gift, there's a valuable gift, it's a costly gift that they're giving to one another. Love is so costly. Think about the couple that's been married 40, 50 years. And the husband or the wife's health begins to fail. And the diagnosis, it's not going to get better, it's only going to get worse. And so many times in the course of my life, I've seen husbands honor and love and care for their wives, or wives love and honor and care for their husbands through the most difficult phases where they're reminded of the words that they committed to one another so many years ago in sickness and in health. And there's nothing to be gained. It changes their whole pattern of life. It changes their whole rhythm. It changes their whole cycle. but they wouldn't have it any other way. In fact, the only thing they would maybe do if they could is just trade places. Like, what leads to something like that? Love does. Or think about parents with kids, reordering their lives and changing how they do everything, budgeting and spending. Why? Because they love their child. And again, that's how it's supposed to be. But love is a costly thing. I think about individuals who pour themselves out on behalf of others, whether it's dear friends or family members, sometimes even strangers, whether because of partnerships with organizations like Hilliard Food Pantry Plus or The Bridge, or spaces where it's just like, man, I just want to keep showing up to tell someone that they're loved. Like, see, love is a costly thing. It's not cheap. It's not trifling. Love doesn't seem to weigh the cost. It's so often love just writes a blank check. What does it need? You need. And Jesus teaches this story in Matthew 18 about a shepherd who's given the task of watching over this flock. And he notices, because he's so attentive to the flock, that one is strayed away. And rather than saying 1% loss isn't all that bad, not a big deal, he goes out and seeks the one, because he was tasked to care for the 100. And he sets aside and he goes at great cost to himself. It cost him his time. It cost him his effort. It cost him his strain and everything else. Seeks out the one. And when he finds the one, he is so excited, brings the one back. He's not doing this, oh, you stupid sheep, wandering away again. How dare you? No, he's just excited. What causes that? Love. Love causes that kind of stuff. And see, the image here is of a God who loves us so profoundly. God's not looking at us like, please, just stay together. Please, come on. Grab the end of the rope. Come on. No, God is knocking down walls, lighting up dark spaces, fighting for, chasing, pursuing, just saying, come home. Love's like that. It's not complacent. It's active. And truthfully, it's rarely an easy thing. Love's costly that way. When you're a good gift giver, you ever been one of those people where they give you a budget on the gifts, right? And like, hey, don't spend more than, and you're like, yeah, I don't care about that. And then there's others where it's like, don't spend more than, it's like, I don't know how I'll spend that much. Love just is willing to pay the price. As I think about that, I want us to look this morning at Matthew 2, 1 through 12, and kind of as a partnership with this text. So we're doing this on purpose because we want to look at the birth and life of Jesus, which we know, but we also want to look at some of the ministry of Jesus later and how this gets illustrated. And so he's demonstrate, hey, love is a costly thing. Love pursues, love seeks, love goes out. And I want to look at Matthew 2, 1 through 12 with a little bit of that in mind. It's the story of the Magi, at least Matthew's telling of it. And here's what it reads, Matthew 2, 1 through 12. We'll start with just the first few verses. It says, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? And they come to Jerusalem because they're studying the stars, and celestial events tend to, as they understood it, point to events happening on earth. And so clearly there's some kind of birth of a king going on. And so why they go to Jerusalem is because Jerusalem's the seat of the power. That's where the existing king is. And so if there's a new king being born, that's what you would expect, or at least that they're aware of it. So that's why they're going here. We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. Why? Because Herod's concerned about getting stuff. Herod's not concerned with giving new opportunities, giving praise, lavishing with gifts. Herod's concerned with self. We don't know a great deal about the Magi. They're wise men. People tend to think we three kings. Most likely they weren't authoritative figures in that way, but they were wisdom seekers. Most likely there's not three people, maybe three clans or three tribes or three representatives. It's most likely a caravan. It's a costly endeavor. They've traveled from Babylon or Persia most likely about 900 miles. So if you were to think about that in terms of where we are, it's be like heading from Columbus to New Orleans, or out to Oklahoma City, or clear up to Acadia National Park in Maine. And the methodology of travel back then was very different. 900 miles today would be no joke. If you invite me to your 1-year-old's birthday party 900 miles away, I'm busy that day. And even if you're like, but I didn't tell you the day yet, doesn't matter. Still busy. And so to set out on a months-long journey to find the king who is announced, like understand, this is a costly endeavor. The Magi cannot seek Jesus without lavishing their time, without lavishing their resources, without even chancing their safety. And this is the story we're told here. It's a significant effort. It's a significant investment. The text goes on, picking up in verse 4. It says, when he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, so Herod, he goes to the Jewish people to say, hey, what do you know about this? He asked them where the Messiah was to be born, and they actually did have an answer. This had been anticipated for some time. In Bethlehem in Judea, they replied, for this is what was written, this is what the prophet has written, and this is from Micah, Old Testament text. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. And so there's an irony here in that literally for thousands of years, the people of God have been watching for the move of God in the coming about of the Messiah. But it takes people from 900 miles away who don't even have the texts, who don't claim to be a Jewish people, to seek him out. Sometimes we take for granted what's right there before us. Sometimes we miss it. Have you ever come to a Christmas or a holiday season and somebody can't be home for the holidays? Maybe they're on deployment. Maybe they just weren't able to travel. Maybe somebody's passed away. And you think about all those times, it's like, yeah, we could have lingered an extra day, but we wanted to get home because we had to get to something. And if I could go back, I think I would have lingered another day. I think I would have sat at the table a little bit longer. Sometimes we miss what's right before us. The text goes on. It says, then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time that the star had appeared. And he's calculating. He needs to figure out how he maintains in power. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search carefully for the child. And as soon as you find him, report to me so that I too may go and worship him. And they have no reason to believe anything, but his intent is pure. And so they seek out, grateful no doubt. After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen, when it rose, went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. And when they saw the star, they were overjoyed. Now, understand how much they've invested of themselves, how much they've spent, how much they've committed. And they get there and they are overjoyed. The closest thing I can get is like when we were kids and we would have to travel to grandma or grandpa's or something else like that, and we're packed full of the car. And back then they did not travel like we travel today, right? I mean, the kids are like living in their own little paradise in the vehicle, it seems. Back then it was just like, I just need to get there. And like that sense of, man, we made it. We made it. This is what it says. When they saw the star, they're overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. Gold has always been of great value. It doesn't really matter what time in history or where you look. Gold has been of great value. This is a luxury gift. Potentially what would sustain them through Egypt for the next couple of years, but this is a high-value gift. So they don't come just saying, hey, we made the gesture. We showed up. They come with this gift. And then frankincense and myrrh, like these would have actually been like kind of luxury imported items potentially even. Like these are luxury things. And so the idea is there's an extravagance that's afforded. You want the Magi invited to your birthday party. That's what I'm saying. These are the good gifts, not the, oh, thanks. I'll donate that later to somebody or something, or re-gift it. No, they're excited for this. And then this is what it says in verse 12, and it's the last verse we'll read in this passage. It says, and having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. So not only do they invest of themselves, not only do they give these lavish gifts, they then risk themselves for this child, this family they just met. They defied the order of a paranoid king of the land. They're not going to chance his safety. They would chance their own. So in other words, from the beginning of their journey to the end, the Magi go to great lengths and tremendous personal cost to seek out Jesus. We don't fully know why exactly. We know they had studied the stars. We knew they believed some significant event to be going on. Perhaps even some of the Jewish people that had traveled in different ways, they'd gotten parchments of the text or pieces of the story. Maybe the Spirit of God had moved on them in some way. But they say they came to worship. What a picture of worship. Traveling 900 miles to a place you don't know. Investing of yourself, of your time, of your resources. Taking literally your own safety into your, just putting it out there. Consider with me for just a moment in Matthew 18 how intentional the shepherd was to pursue the lost sheep. The image there is how intentional God is to pursue you and me. It's not haphazardly. It's not when it's convenient. God intentionally pursues us, setting things, costly things to the side that you and I might be known. And I see in the story of the Magi an example for us of how we're to reply in like kind to pursue God. Christmas is a time of giving far more than getting. We know this, of course. But at times, have you ever forgotten it in this season? Man, what a treat. We get to go be with our family. It's like, man, I'm an inconvenience. Like I'm sleeping in a place I don't want to sleep, and it's crowded and everything. Man, I'm so just glad, God, you've given me this time with them. It's easy to forget that Christmas is about giving rather than getting my way in the midst of the hustle and bustle. It happens to all of us. Further, a life richly lived is far more about who and what we give our lives away to and for than about what we might acquire for ourselves. Like we know this to be true. Like we know it's more about how we give our lives away than what we get, but sometimes, do you forget? Sometimes, do we kind of miss it? In the midst of the hustle and bustle of life, can we sometimes think it's about what I can get and the opportunities I can have and how things can be catered to my convenience? Again, I think about the rich ways in which God shows his love for you and for me, and I think about, man, the intentionality of the Magi to seek Jesus, and I just want us to stop and just consider this morning, how about you and me? In the season of Advent, about the anticipation of the celebration of the Christ child, about a recognition that we're called to continue to wait and to anticipate the return of Jesus. How are we leaning into this season? Is it one of those things where it's like, listen, God wrote a blank check of love for me. God, what do you want? What do you need? How can I reorder my schedule? How can I reorder my time? How can I reset everything for you? Well, listen, I got a lot of things to do, but God, honestly, none of them matter if they get in the way of you. Do we have that kind of same pursuit that the Magi demonstrated? I wonder if on the 900-mile journey, the Magi ever got tired and like, do we seriously want to do this? Like, listen, we're 300 miles. Like, we got 600 to go. What do you say we just send something? Fruit basket. It's a crazy hot desert. They'll love that. No, we got to be there. Well, listen, let's not take the good gold, right? Let's take some silver. Silver bells. After all, it's a Christmas song. They knew that back then. It's written in like 85 BC, I think. Pretty sure. Don't check that. No, we got to take gold. Why? We got to bring the best. God has gone to tremendous lengths to love you and me. Consider Jesus' arrival in our world. He comes to that which is own, even though his own won't receive him, just that we can know love. Consider Mary's response. Let it to be to me as you've said. Consider Joseph's response. Like, this is not the way I saw my family story beginning to play out. But God, I trust you. We look at the Magi and we look at their visit. They take great personal risk, all because of their desire to seek out God. In this season of Advent, are we taking risks? Are we pursuing God? Or are we hoping that Christmas comes along, the gifts are exchanged, and then we'll move on to the new year and on to the next thing? It's simply like a blank check, and when we consider God's love that He lavishes upon us in hopes that we might be found. I'd like to ask you to just imagine a couple things with me for just a minute. First, this. Imagine how we might experience life if we rooted ourselves in the deep and abiding love of God for us all this season. Just imagine. How does it look? How do the inconveniences play when you anchor yourself in that kind of love? A God that seeks us out and chases us down and says, I want you home. I wonder if we wouldn't inconvenience ourselves a little bit more for Him. If we wouldn't go out of our ways a little bit more for Him. That in the midst of, as we think about Advent cards and invitations to church, man, I know it can be awkward and tricky, but it's like, I'm just going to take the chance. What's the worst that can happen? I got a God who is willing to put everything on the table to seek me out. I can have a conversation. And maybe you don't even know God that way. Maybe you say, Lana, I've been attending church for a while, or I'm kind of back new to church, and I'm kind of just trying to get some moral teaching and stuff like that. I'm telling you, you have a God who loves you, who you can anchor everything about your life in, who came at great personal risk and incredible personal cost to know you. I don't want you to miss that this Christmas. The second thing I'd like to imagine together is how God might be inviting us to reflect His character of generosity in our world this Advent season. Love's focus is giving, not getting. We know that to be the case. But again, all of us, I hope, would readily admit that sometimes we get that mixed up. That sometimes we think it's about us. So how might God be calling you to live that more clearly this week? And how might God be calling me? Imagine what it would look like in our homes and in our communities and in our workplaces if more and more the people of God reflected the generosity of God. This week, for instance, how might God be calling you to be more generous with your words? Well, I just don't say much. I want you to say a little. Well, I know I can be a little bit sharp-tongued. Why don't you set that to the side and allow Him to soften you? Who is it you could just send a note to? Who is it you could send a text to? Who is it in the office you can just say, hey, man, I really appreciate that. Hey, I'm really loving about, hey, thanks so much for. Just a generosity of our words this week, strategically, to the glory of God. Not just kind of be nice. We recognize, man, this is the season of Advent. What about with your time this week? What about this week or even the rest of this month? If it was one of those things where it's like, man, I got a lot to do, but I know he's been longing for some time, or she's been longing for, or they asked if we couldn't get together, or man, I know that organization has been putting out appeal after appeal. Hey, what if we reordered some stuff to just be more generous with our time? Hey, let's get lunch. Let's get coffee. Hey, let's go sit down together. Hey, let's turn off the TV and but you want to watch the game? There'll be another game on later. Games kind of get overblown anyway, right? Sometimes they turn out disappointing. Let's just spend some time together. Or imagine if God was calling us, how might God call us this week to just be generous with our resources? Hey, I know somebody in need. I know a situation. I know. What might that look like? Now, at the same time, we have to be wise. Generosity is not foolish. If somebody else is constantly asking for your time, that's not a healthy thing, so you shouldn't give it to them. Sometimes the best thing to tell somebody is, no, like this isn't okay right now. I need to prioritize in some of these other places. But if we're never giving of our time, that's a problem. Sometimes when it comes to resources, somebody's always willing to get. but we shouldn't always give in that. So we need to be wise in how we do that. But still, if we anchor it in love, there's just this spirit of generosity. One way that we seek to be generous as a church every year is our Advent generosity offering. I love this. This was begun before I was here, and we've continued it on. And so last year was our largest Advent generosity offering to date. It's $30,000. I think we've just around $100,000 over the past 4 years or so. And so all of this money we give directly out into the community. We don't tell the organizations we're going to give it to them. Some I think have come to anticipate it because there's a few that are repeats every year. And so we'll just send them a check for $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000. And we just say, hey, thank you so much for what you're doing. It makes a great difference. We see the way that you are advancing God's work, or we see the good that you are doing, and we're grateful as God's people to pour into what you're doing. And so this is something we do. And so my family's already chosen to give to this. If that's something, if you're like, hey, we already have something we do, no pressure, you're good. But if you're like, hey, I'd love to partner with, I'd love to be a part of what that is. This is just a way that as a church, we get to reflect our generosity, God's generosity into the culture. And so I'd love for you to be a part of that with me if you'd be interested. Would you stand? We're going to prepare to go, but I really would like to challenge you. Love is focused on giving, not getting. How is God calling you to love well this week? To give of your words generously, to give of your time generously, to give of resources generously. How is God calling you to love well? And maybe at times you've been too focused on getting. Maybe it's because, man, things aren't together. And I'm just trying to hold it together. We're called to a generous God. If we will pattern our lives in the way that God calls us to live, He sees to it that things get handled. When we will anchor our lives in His love, it makes all the difference in the world. Love is about giving, not getting. We know this. Think of grandma, think of grandpa, think of mom or dad as a kid, sitting in the side, just joy at giving gifts, not concerned with what they get. That's the image we want to embrace. That's the image we want to reflect. That's the image that reflects the love of our God. Let me pray. Father, we thank you so much for your love, your grace, your kindness, your generosity toward us. Help us to choose to be a generous people. Help us to be wise with the generosity, to make investment where it makes a difference. Lord, to resource and equip people. First to those who are following you or committed to you, and then to just everyone else. Lord, maybe this week somebody is just going to recognize they need a little bit more generous with their words. And find things to just encourage. Maybe for them it's just going to be, hey, every day I'm finding 3 people to encourage. I'm sending out texts or I'm talking to them personally. I'm 3 people this week, every week. Maybe for some it's some time and they recognize, man, I've been talking about serving at the place. I've been talking about going and helping somebody. I've been talking about getting a meal or coffee, but I've been too busy, and so I'm just making it a priority. I want to be generous with my time. For some it's with their resources. Lord, for some, they're going to partner with Advent generosity, or there's a need that they're aware of, or there's a situation that they know of, Lord, and they're going to give to that. Lord, help us to be generous. Help us be like grandma or grandpa in the corner with a stack of gifts that we almost seem oblivious to, because we're just so thankful to give good gifts, because we're reminded of our God who longs to give good gifts to His children. Help us to do these things, not just to believe them, not just to know them, but to do them this week. It's in the name of Jesus we always pray. Amen. Thank you so much for being here today.